excellent build quality, a great screen, backlit analog sticks, and all of this in a horizontal form factor. Meet the TrimUI Smart Pro, a budget-friendly yet quite powerful console, even for PSP games. It's incredibly comfortable for retro gaming. I'm impressed with this device and really regret not reviewing it sooner. In this video, we will unbox the console, take a look at its design, talk about the software, and of course, test a few games. But first, let's look at the specifications. The TrimUI Smart Pro runs on the all-winner A133 Plus processor, featuring 4 Cortex A53 cores. The graphics are handled by the PowerVR GE8300 processor, which supports not only OpenGL, but also Vulkan, which improves performance in some demanding games, like GTA Vice City Stories on PSP. We'll see this later during game testing. The console has 1 GB of RAM and 8 GB of internal storage for the firmware. All other data, including game collections and media content, is stored on an SD card. The device features an almost 5-inch screen with a resolution of 720p. It has a fairly large 5000 mAh battery, allowing up to 6 hours of gameplay, depending on the game and emulated system. Moreover, the console includes a built-in Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi adapter, haptic feedback, 2 analog sticks with backlighting, and an additional USB Type-C port for connecting controllers. This port and the charging port are located at the top and bottom, and the console itself has a symmetrical shape. I've seen posts about accidentally connecting a charger to the top port, which can damage the console. Therefore, I taped it off, since I don't plan on using external devices. The console weighs just over 250 grams and runs on its own Linux-based operating system. By the way, I bought this console on AliExpress for 51 euros with free and fast shipping. This is an incredibly low price for a device of this level. Prices often change depending on discount seasons, so don't forget to use promo codes when buying. You'll find a link to this console in the description box. Let's move on to the unboxing. The TrimUI Smart Pro arrived in this packaging. I ordered the white version, but as you can see, there is also a black and a beige classic version. Inside the box, we immediately see a brief manual showing the buttons and ports. A 64 GB SD card with a game collection is packed separately. Let's take the console out of the box. Underneath the console, there is a more detailed manual and a standard USB Type-A to USB Type-C charging cable. Now, let's take a look at the console. It has a pleasant white color with grey buttons. I think it looks very stylish. Its appearance resembles the PSP or PS Vita. Let's turn on the console and check out the screen. Upon startup, the analog stick backlights immediately turn on. It looks very futuristic. I like this design accent. As we can see, the game tab is empty because I haven't inserted the SD card with the game collection. I think it's time to peel off the screen protector and begin the review of the TrimUI Smart Pro. On the front, we see matte grey buttons. They are slightly smaller than on other consoles, but this is not a drawback. The buttons are slightly convex and pleasant to the touch, while still providing a nice click. Moving on to the D-pad, it also has a matte finish, but with slightly sharp edges, which might be uncomfortable to some users. In my opinion, it's a good D-pad. It's moderately stiff and has a nice click when pressed. On other consoles, you usually feel the rubber membrane during presses, while here you feel a satisfying click. Diagonal inputs can be achieved by rocking the D-pad, but it's easier to press 2 directions simultaneously, since the D-pad is quite small. Overall, I really like it. Analog sticks, they are quite small with a rubberized surface. I encountered a common issue that many users have experienced poor response when turning a character in game. I calibrated the analog sticks in the settings menu, which took me less than 2 minutes. After calibration, the problem disappeared and the sticks worked very well. Surprisingly, the sticks are not clickable as L3 and R3 buttons. They are used only for movement. We'll talk more about the stick backlighting later. And before we continue, please like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. This helps me promote the channel. Also, you can click the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. Thank you for your attention. Let's continue. The Start, Select and Menu buttons are very small and protrude slightly from the body. They press quite well. The shoulder triggers respond well to presses and have minimal travel, triggering instantly. However, the bumpers left slightly stiff to me, resembling micro-clicks with a satisfying tactile response. At the top, we also see the power and volume buttons. They slightly protrude from the body and are comfortable to press. At the bottom, there is a function switch, which we'll discuss later, a USB Type-C charging port, a microphone, an SD card slot for the game collection, and a headphone jack. I really like the texture of the plastic. It's semi-matte and pleasant to the touch. Overall, the console design leaves a positive impression. I bought the console with a 64GB SD card. Let's insert it and explore the interface. At the top of the interface, we see the main tabs: Favorite, Recent and Best, which contains curated games collections, including the Pokemon collection. This is very convenient. The next tab is Game. Here, games are sorted by systems. The console can run over 28 systems, including games from the PortMaster section. I've already installed PortMaster and will demonstrate a few games later. The next section is App. Here you'll find various applications. The first app is Function Key Setting. In it, you can assign a specific function to the bottom switch. I set it to CPU performance mode to ensure maximum processor performance. Additionally, you can install extra applications, such as PortMaster to expand the game library, Rainbow LEDs for dynamic rainbow stick backlighting, Reboot for quick console reboots, and LED bed to display battery levels using different colors. I left a link to the additional apps page in the description box. Installing apps is very simple. Unpack the downloaded archive and place the folder into the apps directory at the root of the SD card. The folder structure on the SD card is straightforward. The data folder contains PortMaster games. The emus folder holds emulator files, icons and backgrounds. Images contains game covers, and drums holds your game collection. The collection is divided into folders corresponding to systems like PSP, Nintendo 64, Sega Mega Drive, and so on. This is where you can add your own games. For information on where and how to download games, I recommend checking out this video, link in the description box. After adding games for the SD card, perform a refresh ROMs by pressing the menu button on the home screen and selecting Refresh ROMs. The next important tab is Setting. Here, you can adjust the display, volume, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth devices, themes, key mapping and system settings. You can choose the language, refresh the game library, set the date and time, calibrate joysticks, as I mentioned earlier, and view device information. You can adjust the analog stick lighting in the display settings, where you can enable or disable it and change the brightness. To make the lighting more dynamic with rainbow colors, install and activate the Rainbow LEDs app. The interface is simple, user-friendly and clear. Another great feature is the availability of custom firmware such as CrossMix, Nully, Tomato OS and the minimalist MinUI. Each firmware has its own pros and cons. I haven't had time to experiment with them yet, but I'll definitely try them in the future. I must highlight the excellent display quality. The pixel density is high and the image appears to be right on the surface of the screen, likely due to thin glass without air gaps seen in other budget consoles. I think it's time to test some games. As always, let's start with classic NES games. They play comfortably. Of course, like with other consoles in this format, the screen is too wide for these games, leaving black bars on the side, but nostalgia fans won't let that stop them. Sega games also look nostalgic and fun. I remember playing The Lion King as a child. Game Boy Advance games use a shader that mimics the original console screen. The image looks grainy, but the colors are vivid and rich, making the experience more engaging. More demanding games, such as those for Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1 and Dreamcast, run very well without noticeable lag or freezes. The console gets slightly warm on the back, but it's not uncomfortable. These games bring positive emotions. Let's check out PSP games. My usual benchmark, GTA Vice City Stories, runs at nearly stable 30 FPS on low graphic settings with double rendering resolution. This is thanks to Vulkan support, which enhances performance. In my opinion, this is a killer feature compared to other consoles in the same price range. Playing PSP games here is far more comfortable than on Unbox 40 series or R36S. Games in the PortMaster section also run smoothly. I was able to launch a few indie games and 2D platformers comfortably. Most importantly, I managed to run Half-Life and GTA Vice City. PortMaster grants access to an extended library, including many popular titles, making this console an even more worthwhile purchase. In conclusion, I am incredibly pleased with the TrimUI Smart Pro's performance and quality. For 50 euros, this is a fantastic device, and I genuinely regret not reviewing it sooner. I can confidently recommend it to all retro gaming enthusiasts. You can start playing your favorite games right out of the box. If, like me, you enjoyed detailed customization and testing different firmware, the TrimUI Smart Pro won't disappoint. There are already many custom firmware options available for this console. I must also highlight the stylish design and build quality. It's compact, easily fits in your pocket and allows you to play your favorite games anytime. If you like the horizontal form factor of portable consoles and are unsure what to buy within a $50 to $70 or Euro budget, I highly recommend checking out the TrimUI Smart Pro. You'll find a link to this console in the description box. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I wish you pleasant nostalgia and successful completion of your favorite games.